Oops, you just gotta fix one thing. Move this over to the side. This side. My OBS crashed for some reason, so I had to reopen it. I guess I reset this. I literally made the logo, the quote unquote podcast logo that you're seeing right now on the screen, in like 15 minutes on Photoshop. So I hope you guys like it. Obviously, we'll have better stuff in the future. I like this idea with just having like the podcast logo on the screen, and then I can do whatever I want. Like, I stream gaming content, so my main monitor is full of the game, obviously. The other monitor is full of whatever stuff. But now I could like take the stream chat here, look at it real time, look at my OBS, stuff like that. We got KO Combo in the stream. Okay, so I think I'm just going to stick to live streaming the podcasts because they're more real time engagement related. And I just feel like live streams are more like inclined to growth. Okay, so without further ado, welcome everyone to episode 1 of the Ad Infinitum podcast show, whatever you want to call it. And this episode is titled Taking Things Personally. And I came up with this idea when I was watching a YouTube video by this Call of Duty YouTuber named 8 Dots. And he was talking about how people take things personally. But he took it one step further. He said that sometimes we as people take either abstract ideas or circumstances that don't really define who we are to heart, as if it's something that is this joint part of us. So let me see if I can give you guys an example. This is actually the example that I gave like on live stream on Twitch today, a couple of hours ago. Let's say you're Warriors fan. Hopefully not a bandwagon fan. Like you either live in the Western Conference or you live in California and you're a Warriors fan. You're coming in watching the 2019 NBA Finals. And then fast forward to Game 6 and the Toronto Raptors win. And then you're upset about it. And you're so upset that you start like acting hostile to Raptors fans or Eastern Conference fans in like the comment section of either a Twitter post or an Instagram post. And you're taking it like so seriously, you're taking it to heart. And the irony is that like the people that are playing the game, like Kawhi Leonard or Steph Curry, they're just playing basketball because they're passionate about it. Really, like their passion for basketball ranks way higher than the trophy. And that's probably a stretch. It might be a reach, but this is just for an example. I mean, some of them have said that, whether they won or lost the game. I think Kawhi Leonard said this in particular. Whether they lose or win, at the end of the day, it's just a game, and they're just playing the game because that's something that they love to do. But then you have like these guys, these randoms, these unathletic random people, like just trash talking people just because they disagree with them. Oh, LeBron's not the GOAT. MJ's the GOAT. I don't like pineapples on my pizza. And if you disagree with me, then we're fighting in the comment section. So you got like all these keyboard warriors. And Pizza is pizza, but you don't need to take like some debate like that, blow it out of proportion, like you're gonna die if everyone else in the world disagrees with you. So that's like the type of taking things personally that I'm trying to do. Like stuff, certain things like hobbies or personal enjoyments that you can live without, that it doesn't really define who you are that much, to the point where you shouldn't be passionately bashing people for disagreeing with you. I hope I explained that in the best way. We're going to take a mini break here to look at the stream chat. All right, so we got Vimo here. We have Kenny and we got KO Combo. KO Combo, deleted my channel. I'm moving to a different platform like you suggested, since that new YouTube policy ruins it all for me. What's the new YouTube policy? I might have heard of it, but just refresh my memory. It's just a game. Why do you have to be so mad in a really high pitched voice? Mac and cheese equals apple, and it's true. But really, that's like, I'm not talking about the generic taking things to heart. There's a difference when someone like goes up to your face and says, man, I don't know, you stink, something like that. Like, get some deodorant, man, or cologne and put that on, man. Take a shower, bro. Because that affects you as a person. That's different from someone walking up to you and saying DC comics are better than Marvel comics, and then just walking away. And then you get into this whole crazy, that's their opinion. If you want to put pineapples on pizza, go right ahead. If you think DC is better than Marvel, that's on you. But I'm not gonna stay up and pull an all-nighter just to find people who like something that is contrary to my enjoyment, and just like trash them or get angry, just simply getting angry or upset about it. And while I'm talking about this on the podcast, talking to you guys, and I'm talking to myself, because I'm not preaching, I'm just discussing, because I can be a victim of this. You guys can be a victim of this. You know, it's just not exclusive to, I'm not excluding myself from this, because it's in our human nature. When do you unlock the super chat feature? Unfortunately, that's a long way, like at 1,000 subscribers. So, but I think you can, pretty sure you can still, yeah, you can still donate via Streamlabs, but I haven't set that up yet for this channel. So, just, I'll let you know soon. But you can donate to the main channel since that is set up. Hint, hint. Okay, and that covers like the unique type of taking things to heart, I guess. If I have like any more things to say about that sense, in that sense, then I guess I'll backtrack. But we're gonna move on. I got this article pulled up from Forbes. It's how to stop talking things personally. You guys can search this up if you're interested. Probably not interested. Probably just wanting to listen to me talk. Okay, so now this is talking about the more like understandable, reasonable reason for taking stuff to heart. When people disrespect you, like not like whatever you enjoy in life, whether it be like basketball or some other hobby or soccer, baseball or art or entertainment, like when they disrespect you. So the first point, and it's a little cliche, you got to stop worrying about what other people think. Like I said, talking to you guys, I'm also talking to myself. Because as a teenager, we're in that stage in our life where we're insecure, self-conscious, like how the way we look, like we don't look cool. Like, let me give you another example. Um, let's say you live like kind of like in like a place where I grew up, where you gotta dress cool. In New York we call it drip, and from my understanding, drip is basically True Religion jeans, t-shirt, sneakers, whether it be Nike or Jordan or whatever. Um, Maybe a gold chain if you want to add some extra spice. A hat, whether you're wearing it forwards or backwards or whatever. Some golden round rimmed glasses. That's also, it's not a mandatory accessory, but that can be part of the drip. And maybe a watch. Can be any watch. We don't have to go ham and say Rolex. It can be like an Apple Watch. It can be like whatever. Or a bracelet. Maybe some earrings. My apologies. But yeah, that's part of the drip. But let's say, for whatever reason, one day, our boy, let's call him Jimmy, has to come to school in like some baggy jeans, uh, I don't know, some dirty hoodie, whatever reason it's dirty. Okay, maybe not dirty for this example, but like, some generic brand hoodie, and it's not part of the drip, but everyone around you, maybe in school, public school, has the drip. So it gets to this point, maybe in extreme cases where you're like, man, I can't go to school and look like this. They're gonna roast me. They're gonna say all this stuff. Yet you haven't even left the building yet. But you know from like whether it be past experiences or your expectations that you don't look like the rest of them. You don't have that drip or whatever. It doesn't have to be drip. And you just have this bad feeling. Wow. The fact of the matter is that if you're your own person, does it really matter what they have to say? And I know I'm saying this, and you guys have heard this a million times. And no matter how many times I tell myself this, or you guys hear it, it's going to be very difficult to overcome that, especially if you guys like are in that age range, that same age range. Sometimes people can just overcome it. I feel that taking a deep breath and just like emptying your mind at that very moment helps the most. And I try to tell myself, doesn't matter what they say, doesn't matter what they say, doesn't matter what they say, over and over again. I'm my own person. What matters is how I feel about myself. And that goes into the next point. You gotta know your worth, man. You gotta treat yourself like $1,000,000. All right? You gotta have that self-confidence. You gotta wake up in the morning and say, listen, I love myself. I'm worth $1,000,000. I'm worth $1,000,000,000. Not even a million. $1,000,000,000. Enjoy myself. Enjoy my life. If you're not having the best life at that point in time, then remember that if you're at the bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up. Self-worth is very important, man. And Low self-esteem sucks. I had a friend in elementary school, and their self-esteem was crazy low. Like every day, me and my amigos had to like tell her, listen, you can't keep on saying these harsh things about yourself, because another fact is, if you do that to yourself, then what are other people going to do to you? If you don't treat yourself like you're worth it, then people are just going to walk right all over you. So, self-worth, guys. Hopefully all of you guys watching right now have at least a decent amount of self-worth. Okay, my mic is not muted. Hopefully. And if you have confidence in yourself, then you don't have to worry about what other people got to say. And listen, it gets to that point. I'm far away from that point, but like married, got kids and everything, got a nice house, a nice car, like it gets to that point where like you're so content with life that you don't even look in the direction of where the hate is coming from. Some people are just haters, man. They just live like lives that they don't feel contempt with. So when they see someone who's trying to live a contempt life, they try to make themselves feel a little bit better by looking at all the flaws and whatever life that contempt person is trying to live. And don't do that, man. Don't try to be negative. Like, if you're trying to live a good life in the future, then you gotta give out that positivity, man. And then hopefully, surely, you'll get it back. All right? Now, the third topic that they got on this Forbes article, we actually got a couple more after this, is knowing your worth. I am so sorry. I mean, don't jump to conclusions. Jumping to conclusions is another human. It's another factor that is in our human nature. We're not perfect. Jumping to conclusions is a result of like our emotional response. When something happens, what happens first? Our logic and reason go right out the window, and our emotion and our feeling that we are feeling in the heat of the moment is what takes control, and that is where things go from bad to worse. Sometimes you just gotta sit back after something that has upset you, gotten you angry, has happened, and just sit down like for a few minutes. And then when those feelings have like subsided or died down, then you go and address it. Address the source. Because when you're addressing the source, when you're like angry, for example, you could say something that you didn't mean to say, but you're just letting your anger get in the way. So, I'm all about examples so that you guys can relate to it. What was that stutter? So let me see if I can think of another example for this scenario. Jumping to conclusions. Actually, jumping to conclusions. Okay, so I'm trying to think of a really, really good one. All right, so let's say you have a best friend. And And you all right, I'll think of a simpler one just to make things simpler. All right, so let's say you have a best friend. You're in a great relationship with someone. Probably like dating for maybe 6 months, a year. And one day you find out that, or you come in and discover I'm trying to make this work, man. I'm sorry. Like, my mind is going blank trying to think of this example. Like, I know what I want to say, but I don't know like how to make the scenario like connect like that. My gosh. Okay. Um, let's say you have a best friend and you're in a relationship and everything's going good and whatever for like 6 months. You guys have been dating for 6 months. Then, oh, I got it. Uh, you see, you take a peek on like your partner's phone at one point. You get a text notification from someone. That someone happens to be your best friend. Like the name is Johnny. Johnny is the name of your best friend. And the message reads something along the lines of, did you enjoy last night? Something like that. Like red flag to you. And then at that point you go off. Like you don't even try to get information because you're not using the logic and reason, because you're letting the anger, the confusion take the place. Oh, what are you doing? Why is he sending you this text message? Blah blah blah. Instead of, hey, I saw this message. I just happened to look at your phone when you got the notification, and I saw it was the same name as my best friend, and you sent this message. It was like blah blah blah, and had me scratching my head like, why did he send that message? You can get at that logic and reason point if you like allow yourself to calm down. Just calm down and then address it professionally and in a way where things don't get blown out of proportion for no reason. And moving on with this weird but hopefully understandable scenario, she explains herself, and it turns out that Johnny is actually the same name as her like half cousin or something. And last night he took her to some, I don't know, restaurant that she hadn't been to in years, and she really enjoyed it because it was like a nostalgic experience for her, and she was grateful for it. And the reason why the person didn't know, the significant other didn't know, was because they were like working overtime or something. This scenario is way all over the place, but I really hope that you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. Just don't jump to conclusions, okay? All right, that's all you need to do. Next point, just let things go, man. It's not worth it. Man, if you're so caught up in worrying about tomorrow, or actually tomorrow and yesterday, then you're wasting precious time today that you could be using or something else. Everything in life is a lesson, and it teaches us how to do things differently when we come across the same or similar situation, or even a completely different situation. So instead of letting them make you angry or bitter, according to Forbes, we can use them to help ourselves improve. And the worst thing you can do is like hold grudges or hold in pain or constantly have it on your mind. Because, quite frankly, that can do more damage on the inside than physical damage on the outside. And I feel that sorry about that. Mental pain, to me, is worse than physical pain because at least, your body automatically regenerates to a certain extent. Like, you get a cut, the blood goes there, it creates the scab, and then in a few weeks it's healed. But like when you have like psychological trauma, that thing like ruins, it can ruin your flow, it can ruin your thought processes, it can make you become depressed so you can't even function. But at least when you get a cut or like a bruise or a scrape or a fracture, like the rest of the body is still able to do whatever because like it's only affected that area. So that's why I feel like mental or psychological pain is much, much, much worse than physical pain. Like I would rather cut myself or get a scrape than find out that or like experience a breakup. And hopefully some of you guys can agree. So, that's all I have for letting things go. I think we have 2 more points after that. Okay, this one I really don't know how to discuss it, but it's fill your calendar. Okay, I had a feeling that's what it meant. So it says, if you're busy, it is hard to find time to think about other people and what other people think. And that's true, man. Like, preoccupy your mind with a whole bunch of other stuff that is more relevant than what is going through the minds of other people that you shouldn't give 2 craps about. So it also says, fill your life with family, friends, and work that brings you joy. Family, man, let me tell you something. Spending quality time with your family or friends is something that I would choose over anything else, because you can, if you're thinking outside the box, you can do whatever else you want with your family or your friends. You can go to the movies, you can go to this place, you can explore the city. I like exploring New York City. There's a lot of cool places in New York City, and I plan to do that. I plan to like spend half my time in New York City when college starts for me, because it's just so freaking cool down there. But I plan to like take someone with me every time I go to New York City, because having someone with you, it makes it more fun because you're spending it with someone at a place that you like. So it's one thing to do something you enjoy, but it's another thing to do something you enjoy with other people, and that's filling your calendar so that you don't have to worry about whatever the smack talkers or the haters have to say. Like, who cares? Who cares what they have to say, right? So yeah, it can be your girlfriend, your brother, or your sister, maybe your parents, your cousin. If you got a nephew or a niece, your grandparents, your best friend, your friends, boyfriend, your wife, your husband, anyone, man. Just spend time with them. Then you don't gotta worry about what other people have to say. Okay, the final point. Don't climb down. When someone disrespects you or is cruel to you, the worst reaction is to reply with more negativity and toxicity. Hey, I kind of talked about this at the beginning with that other type of taking things to heart. So it says, don't climb down the rabbit hole and be a part of the problem. Like you're two wrongs don't make a right, man. If someone hits you with that negativity, the only thing that can stop it in its tracks is the opposite, which is positivity. Even if they don't deserve it. And I mean, like, they don't deserve it at all. Take the high road. And let whatever discouraging messages that people have to like flow over you. I'm gonna use like what Master Splinter said to Raphael in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Nicktoons. Let it flow over you like water over a stone in like a river, because water just flows over it and doesn't allow itself to be taken by the current. No, it just stays where it is. And it is fine, completely fine. It's enjoying itself. It's not letting itself become worried or like responding to every sign of negativity with retaliation. Because as the saying goes, and I'm going to butcher this so hard, but you should know what I'm talking about. Like, if you stop to respond to every bark on the path, you're going to waste your time and you're never going to get to your destination. And it's true. And yeah, that's it. So hopefully, if I've said something, at least one thing, one lesson has been taken into account that you can use to live a better life. And that's the point of Ad Infinitum, to talk about these things and use it to better our lives forever and forever. And hopefully with that energy, use it to, positively influence the people that we spend time with on a daily basis. And there'll be other podcast series on the channel. If it's not a podcast series, then it'll be like your traditional face cam discussion YouTube videos. And we'll just talk about like whatever hot topics there are out there, whether in the YouTube realm or like social issues. Because now that we're doing like podcasts, we can get our feet wet, go into like the political realm, because these are things that we can't ignore. Other places like a gaming channel, it's not really appropriate because people are just coming there to have a good time and see their favorite creator like play a game that they enjoy to play as well. They don't want to hear about like this or that. Well, like, on this channel, it's expected because podcasts are thought-provoking or for entertainment or for coming into an area where you can discuss stuff. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that. We should get like better streaming podcast graphics in the future because I have to make it, or I'll just hire someone on Fiverr to make it for like $5 to $10 or whatever. And yeah, donations should be set up soon if I don't forget as well. And yeah, as we start to grow, then We'll have stream chat management, get those moderators in, and that'll be it. Okay, so that was Ad Infinitum, episode 1. Don't take things personally, especially if it's in regards to people and their hobbies or interests or passions or whatever, because that's not you, man. The hobbies and all that other stuff that are part of life are just additions that we have created ourselves for us to enjoy, for us to kill time and pass time. So if you come across someone who disagrees with you, has differing opinions, or is just like a douchebag about it, and wants to say all this crap, whether it be face to face or hiding behind a screen, then all you need to do is remind yourself that that thing does not affect me. It doesn't affect my appearance, my mindset, point of view, my habits or whatever. It's in its own thing. So, yeah. Oh, I just remembered the example that 8 Thoughts used in this video. It was in regards to video games. People who necessarily don't like the same video game as you, and then you get like so angered about it as if you and the video game are one. That was the example that he used. So I'm glad I remembered that at the last minute. Okay, so thank you all so much for tuning in, especially if you tuned in to the end. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe. This is your first time. Let's try to get to 50, 100, and then hopefully 1,000 so that we can get super chats for the guys that are eager to donate by those means. All right, guys, check out my other videos. I'll talk to you guys later in episode 2 of Ad Infinitum. If you guys have any suggestions on what we should talk about, just comment it down below. Peace, and have an amazing day.